Welcome to Jim Totino Field at Totino-Grace High School for Northwest Suburban Conference Girls Lacrosse. Tonight it's Osseo-Park Center paying a visit here to the Grace Eagles. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, Osseo-Park Center team, they graduated some good talent, including Margot Coombs, I'd say undoubtedly the best player in their program history. However, 4-1 start. They like the depth of this team. So far, so good. A 1 loss to Maple Grove, but they've played well, maybe even better than expectations.
Well, I'm not sure that they feel those expectations weren't too high. This team really is a lot more intense. They're more spread out over the field. They've got talent all over the place. Plus, they can go 2 deep and 3 deep in a couple spots. Plus the fact they're getting good goaltending. And if you can get good goaltending, there's a lot of things that can happen. They're only allowing 5.8 goals a game. And in girls lacrosse, that's a huge number, and a 6.99 save percentage. Oh, man, that's been doing it. But if you look at the assist setup by some of the girls on this team, I mean, they're moving the ball really well. And that's been the secret. They can catch, move the ball, get the cuts right, and score goals.
And for Totino-Grace, 1 win so far. They've no doubt had a tough start. They've taken a couple of lopsided losses, a couple others that were closer that they felt like, okay, if we just did a few things here and there, we at least would have had a chance in a couple of those games. They're kind of rebuilding, no doubt about it. They're the underdog for sure tonight, but you know, they're trying to build and get better as the season goes. And boy, they have a very good coach, and Bill Moyer used to be at Armstrong.
Bill Moyer's at Armstrong for what, 11 years? Just built a real powerhouse of a program. They were always in the top of the girls' situation here in the state and girls lacrosse. But he comes in here, he's basically got 24 kids, and he's got kids playing both JV and varsity. So, you know, it's kind of a rebuilding project. Now, they lost by 2 goals. Difference, St. Louis Park, 1 goal to Irondale. I mean, they were close in those games. Maple Grove, Champlain Park, I mean, 2 of the premier teams in this conference. They just couldn't play with them. And it's been a lack of practice time. It's been you know, they couldn't get out on the field. You know, it's the one thing that's hurt a lot of lacrosse teams in the state here has definitely affected the Totino-Grace girls team. But they're fighters. They got some good athletes, and they're working through their young kids. And first-year goaltender who played out on the field last year, he stepped up. She's a junior. Hopefully she gets good experience this year to build for next year. But we'll see what they can do tonight.
One big difference tonight for OPC. First of all, it's their first away game at all, but also their first game on grass, and there's no question about it. It's a little different game over here on the turf that hasn't really sprung up too much yet.
Well, yeah, it's you're going to see some lumpy ground. You're not going to get true bounces. It's going to go a little awkward and sideways here. So the big thing is, first of all, keep the ball in the air. Don't put it on the ground, okay? Otherwise, you're going to get into a lot of ground ball fights. Footing. You're going to slip. You're going to find some spots. You make sure your footing is good, especially when you're shooting or passing. And, of course, the girls' game is a running game. So we'll see how the field affects them today. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. They haven't been on it too bad, but it will definitely have an effect on tonight's game.
All right, we'll see if Osseo-Park Center can come over and take care of business. Totino-Grace hoping they can spring an upset. Northwest Suburban Girls Lacrosse coming our way next here on CCX Sports.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood, or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. As life gets busier than ever, we will still offer you a connected community experience through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Welcome back here to Totino-Grace. A very warm evening. A little bit of a breeze going here, but definitely at game time. One of those warm evenings that the players have had to get used to in a hurry this spring down. It feels like we kind of went from winter to summer without much of a gap in between there.
Absolutely, and you know, when you look at this now, as we get into this 80-degree temperature, which we have here at game time, it's we'll see how it wears on the kids because they haven't had a chance to really work in this kind of weather. So second half ought to be a little interesting, I think.
Get a look at the Crocs, Osseo-Park Center, of course, wearing the orange for Osseo, the green for Park Center, as they've done some programs gotten going with both schools in a cooperative, and kind of nice the way they are able to do it too, where you know the boys are pretty much hosted by Park Center, the girls are hosted by Osseo, and obviously a mixture of players from both. And Totino-Grace, as we said, numbers a little bit thin in their program right now, certainly, but they're going to come out and battle, and at least try and slow this OPC team down a little bit, play some sound defense, and see if they can't at least stick in the game for a while.
Well, they're playing one of the more noteworthy teams in the conference in OPC, but they're young. They're trying to get some athletes and learning the game bit by bit. And I would expect they're going to do a lot of running, and they'll do some attacking. See if they can get some turnovers.
There's a look at Bill Moyer, the Eagles head coach, and second year with the program. He admitted it's kind of year to year by now. He kind of was thinking he was probably retired from coaching high school lacrosse, and then was kind of talked into, can you come on over and help us out here? And so he said year by year, he and his wife vacation, or I shouldn't say vacation, but live in Southern California in the winter. And one of these years, he said, we're not going to keep coming back, but for now, it's just so much fun. I had to say yes again here for this 2018 season, as OPC starts with possession here and looking to get things set up right away. One of their captains, Gabrielle Holton, controlling here. Holton spinning to the middle. Whistle down here, and they'll bring her back. Saw the OPC co-head coaches there, and there's a move to the net, and Holton scores early on here for Osseo-Park Center, burying one 48 seconds in as they will strike first.
Getting a free spot there, scoring her 20th goal of the year. She's her leading scorer this year. She now has 22 points, and has been a real hustler. The one thing I like, one of the stats I like about her is you can see the move here, just takes it high-low and beats Fawn there, the goalie for Totino-Grace, for the first score.
Yeah, Tui Fawn had been an attacker, but playing first year as goalie, and obviously that's a tough ask right there when you got such an opportunity in front from the free position like that, and the Crocs able to score it right away. Nice interception here, and they go right back to the attack as Holton coming away with it, trying to drop it off there for Grace Holton. It'll be OPC possession here.
The attempt at a ground ball here kind of got us, caught in the turf. I mean, we were talking about the field. That's one of the things that'll happen on a grass field versus a turf field. There isn't much give.
Grace Holton working her way forward here as the Crocs try and get something set up. Their coaches were really, praising the way things have clicked in terms of passing and moving, and their timing has been pretty good. There's a shot denied. Especially for having so many players new to the varsity, that they've clicked as players and as an offense. Maybe they've been happy with it. Let's put it that way. Nice move to the net here, Gutzweiler, and had it get away from her as she started to bring it up to shoot. OPC will get possession back.
Nice move there, trying to break away. They're trying to really set some goals as far as getting more assists. That means more ball movement instead of just working on dodging all the time to score, which they definitely have. And there you go. There's a great example of how that works right there.
Rachel Manning getting one of Her getting the assist to Gabby Holton right there. Manning already had 14 assists coming in. And Holton getting her second goal of the game very early on here.
You see a nice play there. She drew 2 defenders at her, and guess who's open coming down the middle there? Holton, and just gives her the ball, and she puts it away. Another high-low shot. And you know, we were talking about Manning a little bit, too, with the coaches, that she's very good at drawing that second defender and getting the ball back to where that defender came from, where that open person is going to be.
Gabrielle Holton picking it up here, but loses it. Eagles come away with it as Megan Mullen flipping it ahead. Now, opportunity up the right side here. Shot and a goal, and the Eagles get on the board in a hurry as Alani Brands buries that one. After the turnover, they didn't waste any time, and she comes in, and Emily Shalene was kind of hung out to dry there. Not a defender really in sight to halt the run from Brands here, and she's able to finish it.
Nice run, and it did a real nice job here. She just gets it in and gets it on her left hand. She's a lefty, and that's a little bit odd, but what I liked about it was the pass to break her free. It was a nice little push-up, and then she could take it from there and get one-on-one, and of course she had all the momentum because she got it going at full speed.
So a little confidence booster there for the Eagles as they get on the board quickly, only about 16 seconds after Holton's second goal, so they cut the lead now to 2-1.
Well, Coach Moyer was real candid, too, about his team, but he said a couple things we got going for ourselves. Number one, we're good athletes, we're smart, and we have good speed, and that speed showed itself there. She pulled away.
And ball kicked ahead by Abigail Schroeder there after it was knocked away from her. Now the pass over to Claudia Olson. Olson's pass into a little bit of traffic here. Now that ground ball scoop. You'd think the Eagles may be a little advantage of that just because they've been on this field at least a little bit so far.
Yeah, she had a 6 a.m. practice this morning out here.
Laura Denchfield controlling and drops it back now. Gabby Holton surveying the scene here for Osseo-Park Center. Sending it over now to Laura Denchfield. Going to the middle, and she scores up high. Denchfield right over the top. And it's quickly 3-1 OPC as Denchfield, the junior, burying that one. That is her 4th goal of the season.
Well, good pass there at Holton. And Denchfield, look how she switched hands there, Jay. She went from her right hand to her left hand to bring it away from the defender, and they had enough to get rid of it before the triple team came at her. And coming in on Fawn there that close, stayed high on it, and put it in the upper corner. Nice goal. As you can see, junior there too. I mean, a lot of this OPC, these are some young kids in this team, Jay, that are getting some experience. They only got 6 seniors on the team.
Well, the coaches and some of the older girls were saying before the season when I talked to them too that they can sense that the youth program is paying off. That players who come in as 9th or 10th graders, their skill level's higher than what it was a few years back in the program.
Yeah, they've been kind of pushing to get Maple Grove and OPC youth programs to combine here to let the good players play with the good players and let the developing players play with the developing players to keep the growth going on both ends.
Olivia Olson controlling here for Totino-Grace as OPC drops back. That's the never-ending battle in every sport in 279, though, isn't it? It feels like.
Oh, yeah.
Who should be doing what in the youth program? There's a shot up and over the top. And it will be Totino-Grace possession here as the sun coming back out full here. Shalene got a piece of that pass, and now she will scoop it up as she read it that they were going to try to go out front to Megan Mullen. And Shalene, the Athena Award winner, we got a chance to talk to her over at the Athena Awards last week for Osseo High School. Again, this is Osseo-Park Center playing together. She goes to Osseo. Here's Denchfield up that right sideline. She turns on a little speed and then flips it out front. Oh, a great opportunity for Gutzweiler. I wonder if the sun wasn't a little bit of an issue there, because that didn't seem like a tough ball to catch, but it just didn't seem like she got a real good look at it.
I think you're right. Beautiful move by Denchfield, and just really unselfish on that. So, yeah, brought her eyes right up into the sun there. That might have something to do with it, but
I'm going to give her that excuse anyway, because it seemed like that she reacted late. Sonia Coombs with it now. Younger sister of Margot, the Graduated standout from OPC's last year team.
She was a player. Boy, she was fun to watch.
Mullen on the move here. Delivers it to Brands, who scored the Grace goal. Now a battle for the ground ball here. And OPC up out of there with it as Beth Denchfield comes away. Now they get it to Gutzweiler on the move here.
See, you can see the difference in experience here, Jay. They got their heads up looking to pass. Grace is having a hard time moving the ball to each other with successful passes.
And there's a turnover, and OPC trying to go back on the attack here. Flip over to Laura Denchfield. Dodges one, now throwing it back across, and we get our call made against Totino-Grace.
Had to stick up into the 9-inch halo around the head. So that'll be a possession change. And a free placement for Denchfield. This is, let's see if Twee Fawn can get it stopped here.
Denchfield cutting in right into the body of Fawn, but then she knocks the rebound in for her second straight goal. Tough one for a goalie. You're feeling pretty good about stopping the first one, but then she really just shoveled that rebound in, and that'll make it. You see the nice save initially, but then just kind of knocked it between the feet of Fawn. So a 4-1 lead now for Osseo-Park Center.
Well, Fawn, I like the way she stopped that one. She got her body in the way, just didn't get the basket down and protect it and try to, you know, trap it and then get a possession for Grace. But, you know, first year, she's going to learn.
So Gabby Holton a couple of goals, Laura Denchfield a couple of goals for OPC. They're quickly up 4-1. Nice move to the net here, but then the defense comes, so a pass dropped back off there for Riley Haug.
I like the way they brought it back out and they've reset themselves. Oh, she almost had a move there.
Nice little screen set for Grace Holton, and then the defense recovered. Holton trying to scoop that one up, couldn't quite do it, and then we get a push call there against Totino-Grace. So Grace Holton. She'll drop that pass back. Riley Haug controlling here for OPC as a cutter comes through. Gabby Holton waiting and then tried to drop it off. A defender just got a piece of that one. And now we get the call going against Osseo. Good recovery there by Grace, as I believe it was Sonia Coombs cutting through. And the pass was going to be pretty well on target, but a defender just got her cross up and got a piece of that.
A little body contact, so not allowed in girls whatsoever, and we'll notice that they're not quite as aggressive as the boys are with their sticks, and that's because they're not allowed to. You're only allowed to use a stick check in a very, very straight set of rules. It can never be toward the opposing team's body. It can't be up near the head area. There's a 9-inch halo that if the stick gets up there close there, they will call it and change possession, and you can't hack down on a stick.
Mariah Boone on the move here for OPC. Faked that pass, but it was pretty well covered up, so she holds onto it and then gives it back over now to Gabby Holton.
When we were talking to Coach Mariah Boone, a sophomore, she's been a real pleasant surprise for the coaching staff. She's had a really good year. She's the third leading scorer on the team. She's done a nice job.
Manning cutting to the middle. Pass was behind its intended target. They briefly had it back anyway, but then the defense converges. Nice pass up the sideline here, and the Eagles moving it back the other way, but Brands will have to try and get it back now off the ground ball. And now it is recovered by Mullen. Taken right back out of there though, and the Crocs looking to turn it back as they transition quickly to offense here. Coombs. split through a double team and then did have it knocked away, but unable to come up with it. So OPC gets it right back here. Haug will drop it back out top.
You'll see a nice move or a nice setup here. Now, what they'll do, they're going to start sending some cutters through. They either come from the side or they come from up top. Now, if we're looking at, they're setting up behind, and you see the girls start moving through the crease area there.
Drop down low, quick shot. Oh, and Pham able to deny that one. Got her, I think, her leg on that shot from in close from Coombs.
Quick feed. She's not afraid to use her body to get it done.
Now pass to the cutter here, and this time they will score. The shot bounced in. Laura Denchfield striking again with her third of the night here for OPC, as they did a nice job setting it up. And even though the first one didn't go, they kept with it. Get the pass, and
there's the first save.
Yep, great stop on that first try, and then pass from behind, and they tucked it away, Laura Denchfield, as we have a timeout taken here.
I think the one thing Bill Moyer can talk about is stepping out a little bit more. If Pham tends to be sitting back in that net a little bit too much, he'll teach her how to step out and attack within her crease there and cut down that angle and use that basket to go right to the basket of the player shooting. It's a good timeout here. I would expect OPC now. We're going to start seeing them do some set offenses here to work through that and see what they can pull out of the hat. We've seen them work from behind. We've seen them work up top. I like Manning coming around to the side, finding the cutter coming through. That's been a good play for them. But they want to get assists to other players too, so I'm sure they're going to get the ball into other people's hands and see what they can do with it and learn the offense.
Yeah, it's kind of the game within the game. I mean, sure, your objective is to score as much as you can. That kind of goes without saying. But how it happens and how you work things, especially when you're a team building elite, is what these coaches want to see too. It isn't all about just, can you beat somebody one-on-one? Well, okay, that might work against certain teams, but when you get against the top teams, it won't work anymore, and that's what you got to realize.
No, you got to really be able to be creative. Find your players in different sets and separate situations, because you want to change it up against a good team, because they'll catch on to what you're doing. You got to change your set, and this is a good opportunity for OPC to do that. So far, Jay, I've liked Grace's speed. When they've gotten an opening, they've really rocked and run with it. Just ball control right now. Finding the open player. They've been forcing some balls into covered situations where people are double teamed or there's another player close by. There's got to be somebody else open. And once they learn to get their head up and take a good look at the field and use themselves to move to create things to open up, like we said, let your guy come and then the slide come, the other person coming on you defensively. That's where you go with the ball. That person should be open. So we'll see if they can catch on to that here during the course of this game.
I think the Eagles need to do maybe a little bit better job too of, when cutters are coming, not letting them go exactly where they want to go, getting in their way in some way, shape, or form. Just trying to disrupt things a little bit better than what they've been able to do.
Well, it's kind of like basketball. You can take a charge in this game, so if you establish yourself in that position when the attacker's coming and they hit you, it's a charge. Get a good look at Tui Fan. Yeah, like we said, she stepped up this year to play goalie and as a junior, so hopefully she'll learn here and get better as they go.
Laura Denchfield unable to come up with that one. Again, the ball obviously not going to bounce quite as much here on the grass as it would on the turf field that they're used to playing on. Pass missing for Megan Mullen. And it will be Osseo-Park Center possession here.
Now, it's one thing that TG can determine here is a good ride. Be good defensively and disrupt them from breaking out or clearing the ball out.
Gutzweiler's pass getting away briefly there, but Megan Payne trying to scoop that up. She feels the pressure as the Grace player getting to her, but now Payne gets control. And Shalene calling for it here, and she is going to use her goalie here. But that pass is off target.
Okay, Totino-Grace, good ride. Stop the progress of the OPC Crocs coming up the field and caused a turnover. Now they have possession again.
Brands dropping the pass back here. Isabel Lewis going to the net. Misfired as she tried to bounce that one home. Eagles get it right back though. Now here's Brands who has the Grace goal.
Okay, there goes the first cutter.
Mullen looking for an opening. And that was just kind of an unforced turnover there. It'll go back to OPC. Well, those are the kind of plays that you want to obviously start by being able to complete the passes like that aren't really a forced turnover.
Okay, but here you have another opportunity to force a turnover if you can.
Gabby Holton's pass over the head of Haug, but it winds up with Rachel Manning.
Boy, she did a nice job just seeing what's going on, coming out to the ball and beating the defender to it.
Holton plays that one on the bounce after another little errant pass there for OPC. Gabby Holton, who scored the first 2 goals of the night for the Crocs. Dishing it over left side. And then the pass getting away from Coombs, and it will be a turnover here. Grace possession, I believe. Maria Goldman getting it over to Claudia Olson. And the follow-up is Olivia Olson on the move here for the Eagles. Brands makes the difficult catch there. Now Brands tried to go behind the net. Pass was deflected. And it'll stay with Totino-Grace.
Got to keep moving. Can't let the D close in on you and telegraph that pass like that. You need to be moving when you make that move.
Cut to the front, a lot of D there, and it's going to be a charge, I believe is what the signal was there.
You're right, yep. The D had established territory there, and she ran right into him, just like we were talking about in basketball.
Coaches for OPC were saying that 3 of the 4 in the back were either new to varsity or new to that spot, and so they've performed well and communicated well, and then Shalina's played well in that too. Gabby Holton's pass, and Coombs not able to come up with it, but it stays on the field.
I tell you, the OPC's dropped their goals against average by exactly 1 goal per game so far this year compared to last year. So the new kids are doing the job.
Yeah, as we said, they're 1 loss to their arch rival Maple Grove. That's been really the thorn in their side for sure these last few years. Lost them in the section final last couple of years, but
yeah.
A 10-6 game at Maple Grove isn't too bad. I mean, that's, certainly they wanted to win that, and it's not a moral victory or whatever, but considering how well Maple Grove's played this year, that's not a bad result, I would say, for OPC with that young team.
I would agree, and think about what you learned. Maybe you get them again. Now we got a whole new ball game. They're going to get tested this week, though, too. They got to play. I believe they get Champlain Park this week.
Yeah, they're at Champlain Park Friday after they host Armstrong on Wednesday.
That will be an important game for them. I don't think Champlain Park's got a loss yet this year.
And a nice pass that just barely got there, but then it gets away from Haug. Scrambling, trying to pick it up there was Sophie Palma for the Eagles, and now it does. Brands unable to handle that bouncing pass. Megan Payne scooping it for OPC, and now they try and turn it right back the other direction. As Brooke Beerbaum moving it upfield. And then Gabby Holton steps in to help out after it was lost briefly there. Holton right up the middle. Just when she was going to think about shooting, it was knocked away, and Fawn able to come up with it.
Okay, nice clearing pass there so far. And
knocked away. It'll be Totino-Grace possession here along the sideline. Eagles have at least succeeded, I think, in slowing OPC down a little bit from what it was looking like early on here. I mean, sure, they're down 5-1 and all that, but for a while it looked like they were going to get scored on, you know, pretty regularly, and they've kind of evened it out a little bit anyway.
Well, a lot of it has to do, too. They're making OPC play the whole field. For the first part of the year, there was just a half a field, and it was all in Totino-Grace's end. Now they're making them play the whole field. They got to go full length, and they're causing some turnovers, and that's got to be a bright spot for them.
Lewis giving it back here to Olsen, Claudia Olsen that is. Shoveling it over to Mackenzie Gallivan. Gallivan going to the middle, lost it. Follow up, Mullen had it, lost it. It will be Totino-Grace possession, and Mullen is going to have a great opportunity from the free position here.
Yeah, legal stick check there on the hand.
Mullen going to the net, and she buries it. Totino-Grace, second goal of the night as Mullen able to convert, and the Eagles are to within 5-2.
Well, good start here. You know, getting that free position helped, but the important thing is she buried it. It was a nice, strong shot, high-low, into the lower left-hand corner, and you know, Shalene is right-handed and went to her left side. It's tough to get that basket down, and way to go, Eagles. I mean, they fought back. They put a good stop on OPC right now, and they're slowly building it, cutting into that lead. Yeah, we were both encouraged by what Coach Moyer said, too, in the two games, that they were pretty close. You know, a couple things either way would have made a difference, and the two that he lost to were ain't exactly panty wastes in this league.
Palma gaining control here. Palma weaving to the front, a lot of traffic, and she'll try to go back out with it. Now it's Lewis, so the Eagles have really possessed it much better here of late, and it's paying off. They go down low with it. Here's a quick shot that missed. Shalene came out to challenge. And I think we may have had a crease violation there against Totino, perhaps.
It was a push.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny, we were talking a little bit earlier about OPC, you know, oh, you got a comfortable lead and you can work on some things, and I think the feeling changes now. I say, you know, we got a game. We got to keep coming hard and score a few more here and make this margin bigger by halftime. On the board, controlling here for Osseo-Park Center.
Good defense, cutting her off, taking possession of the turf in front, stopping them where they're going to be, not where they are.
And they end up forcing a turnover. Eagles quickly out of there with it. Contested pass ahead, though. And now Coombs coming up with it for OPC. Oh, and a nice play to knock that one down as she tried to get it to Manning, and quick transition. Here's Brands receiving the pass for the Eagles. Gonna bring it over left side now. Lewis waiting for her teammates to get set up. Now Claudia Olsen. Olsen working to the front. Olsen over the shoulder shot, but Shalene was ready, and that one was pretty much right at her. But a nice job to just hold her ground and make that stop for OPC.
Well, nice moves by Olson there. She just kind of went. She'd go slow and then she'd go fast, and she did a nice job to get herself in front of the net. She fooled through the OPC defenders.
Hold, as it was a nice play there over the top by Claudia Olson, but Shalene was ready.
She didn't get pulled out or off to the side there. She's held her ground, and that ball came back. She had the basket ready.
Knocked away there from Payne, and it's going to be their possession. Allie Nelson barking at the official a little bit, the one of the OPC co-coaches, along with Nora V. Here's Lewis on the move now for Totino-Grace. Isabel Lewis shooting, but Shalene making another nice stop.
She's good with that basket, Jay. They need to bounce that thing. They need to make a change of direction on her, because if it's a straight line, either up, down, or down, up, she's going to get that basket on it. Let it bounce and change direction on her.
Pass fails to connect, and Schroeder coming back. Gets it to Brands. We're under 3 minutes to play in this first half. 5-2, Osseo-Park Center. Looked early like they might really dominate this one, and I guess they may yet ultimately, but Grace has done a pretty good job of hanging in.
Grace has gotten better since they started. I like the way they're moving the ball. They're making some passes, doing a good job there. I'd like to see them put a little more speed on, like here. They beat some people straight off the bat. They just appear they're not quite sure of themselves.
Grace Holton ahead to Manning.
And this is where Manning can be dangerous now. She has a huge assist leader here, and they'll cut for her because they know she'll give out the ball if they get open.
Tried to go out front. That pass denied, though, by Opat for Totino-Grace. Pass ahead. Gutzweiler got back at least to interrupt that one. Now Mullen will scoop it up here for TG. Here they come again with an opportunity. Flipped out front and a shot and a goal. Nice finish there as a good setup too, and Gallivan will put it away for Totino-Grace. Their second goal in a row, and they are right back in this one now, down 5-3.
Nice play, a good pass coming out front here. Look at her, she's got her head up and she just looked for the cutter coming through, and Gallivan came down the guts and got another one, and all of a sudden, yeah, we got a game.
For the Eagles, number 19, Mackenzie Gallivan.
You know, the other person that's been really conspicuous, or two on defense for Grace, is Kelly Opat, number 13. She's kind of tall, and she really knows how to get that stick up in the air and knock some passes down. She's knocked 2 or 3 of them, but you always like to see defense get some scores to it like that.
Crocs come away with it off the face-off. Laura Denchfield, who has 3 goals already for OPC, now getting it to Gabby Holton, who has a couple of goals. Holton going to the front end, now her third. We kind of had the feeling of once they won that face-off was we gotta turn this thing around and get back on the attack, and that's what happens right there as Gabby Holton finishes it.
Let him back in the game. Well, Holton just said, okay, enough of that. Now watch her switch hands right there. She went from her right hand to her left hand, bringing it away from the D right there. She's now left-handed and brought it right over the top. Nice goal. Again, their leading scorer this year, but boy, they needed that. Was it 3 straight for Totino-Grace? 2 straight.
Crocs control the draw again, and they're not going to be satisfied with just getting that one. There's still a lot of time left, 1:15. Looking for cutters here. The board will drop it back to Boone. Boone going to the net here. Looked like she briefly had an opening, but then pulled it back down as the D converged.
Grace is stacking it right in the crease there. Now they got it to Manning, the magician. Oh, nice play.
Opat knocked it away, but Manning gets it right back. And Manning will go to the front and take it herself and bounce it home. But she was not flustered when Opat knocked that one away. And Manning just keeps it. And this time will take it herself for the goal with 36 seconds left in the first half.
She's a nice move here, and she just turns the speed on right here to get around the corner, to get around Opat, and goes low. And that does a good job. That's only her third goal. She's got 15 assists here, Jay, or 16, I think, now. But I think they want her to put the ball in the net a little bit more. She's obviously got the ability to do it. But OPC turning on the Jets again. And
yeah, a couple big goals for them. It kind of really shows once again just how important faceoffs are, because they scored after cleanly winning draws twice in a row. This time the Eagles come away with it as Olivia Olson up with it. And that one got away from her. Scoop by Gutzweiler, and she'll have to retreat. They may run out of time to get anything offensively here. 20 seconds to go. Shalene controlling, and then they're not going to want to make sure they don't make a mistake deep in their own end here. Payne forced back. And time is going to run out on any more action, I think. Or did it?
I think they're going to put 1 second back on the clock. No, they're just going to end the half right now. So, well, kind of a back and forth in the OPC. I guess they are going to play it out for a second.
Bill Moyer saying, hey, it's a home scorer. We really should have been able to get, because it definitely went out of play with, you know, a second or two left.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're necessarily going to bother with putting it up on the board. They're just going to kind of go by feel here and count on the field, maybe time this last second or two. Obviously, the chances of really doing much with it aren't that good, but now we will come to halftime. So Grace hanging right there with OPC. They cut it down to 5-3. Then the Crocs get a couple of late goals to extend the margin. Our score at halftime is Osseo-Park Center 7, Totino-Grace 3. We'll be back with first half highlights and then more lacrosse here on CCX Sports.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back here to Totino-Grace. Along with Dan Fick and I'm Jay Wilcox. 7-3 Osseo-Park Center leading Totino-Grace at halftime here of this girls lacrosse matchup. Take a look at some first half highlights. Gabrielle Holton from the free position scoring early here for Osseo-Park Center, less than a minute in. And then a nice little flip pass from Manning to Holton. She gets another one. 2.5 minutes in, 2-0 OPC. But Brand's coming back here for Totino-Grace as she goes to the net and buries it with the left-hand shot there. They get on the board and it's 2-1. Then Laura Denchfield taking over for a spell here as she goes up high with that one. And then Denchfield not done yet. First one denied, just shovels the rebound in. And she ends up netting 3 goals in a row for OPC as she takes this feed there from Manning and tucks it in for her third of the night. And it really looked like they were going to dominate, but then Grace played well latter part of the half. Mullen scoring right there. And then it is going to be Gallivan taking the pass in tight and finishing for the Eagles. They got it to 5-3, but the Crocs come right back. Gabby Holton scoring this nice goal. Then after they win a draw, they'll get another one. Manning had it briefly knocked loose, but then she gets it back, brings it out front, goes low with the shot. And so they scored twice in less than a minute late in the half to make it this margin. 7-3 our halftime score. We'll come back with our second half here on CCX.
to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
OPC getting set for half number 2 here. They have to feel a little better about things about getting those last couple goals, Dan. I mean, not that they didn't play a good half, but I think they kind of felt like they were in control until for a little while they weren't.
Well, they took a step back. They just kind of relaxed and then let Grace get back into it, and but they stepped it back up again. I like their patience, and they know when to set their sets up and how to work them. And then their 3 top scorers know how to play. Grace, this half, use your speed a little bit more. I like the 2 goals. First ones were fast break type scenarios, and start using that speed more. If it isn't there, pull it back. But if you can beat it on a fast break, I think they have an opportunity to get some goals on OPC if they play it that way. So we'll see what they come up with here. The biggest thing that you pointed out in the first half, too, is they need to win a few of these draws. They've been losing a lot of them.
Schroeder and Gabby Holton getting set to face off here to begin our second half. And Holton comes out of there with it for the Crocs. She's been an impressive player here tonight.
Yeah, she really has. She did a nice block out there to be able to get the ball. She's won her face-off. She's scored goals. She's moved the ball really well.
Little flip there, and I think again we saw the sun being an issue. Grace Holton almost looked like she turned away to avoid that ball hitting her, like she couldn't see it.
Yeah, this is one area too. I thought Grace held their own pretty good too. They won a number of the ground ball battles.
Nobody able to come up with a clean lay for a while. Now Gabrielle Holton does. Dropping it back. Laura Denchfield to the net. That one denied. Then another try. And she tried to follow it up with the rebound like she did earlier. And that time it didn't work out. And you see a little smile from her there as she thought she was going to finish it.
Well, Fun got her feet down there, and she's not afraid to take it into the body. She could get better control of that basket. She could be pretty awesome right now, but in the crease violation there, and Grace has got it. Well, they did.
Now controlled by Emma Hansen, spinning away with it for OPC. Hansen getting things set up as they look to make some cuts to the net. Rachel Manning. Laura Denchfield, that one gets past her. And the Eagles able to force the turnover. Olivia Olson on the move upfield. Talked about the speed, but she got a little impatient. She was running out of gas there a little and just took a pretty easy shot into the basket there of Shalene.
It was a nice run.
Laura Denchfield hard up the sideline, now cutting it to the middle. Flipped that pass, but it was denied. They get it right back, though. Coombs. Coombs losing possession there, and it'll be fine. The goalie scooping it up. Dangerous pass there.
Boy, nice pickup and turnaround.
Well, yeah, the Crocs are contesting those passes. They're not allowing any easy out of the zone there.
Yeah, Grace has got some battle in them, though. They're working it.
Pass getting away there. Boone trying to come up with it. Call goes against Boone.
I think another legal stick check there.
Lewis controlling it here for Totino-Grace.
There, I like this. She isn't stopping. She's just kind of slowing it down, setting things up, but she's still moving.
Little spin move attempted there by Lindstrom. Now Claudia Olson. Flipping it to the front. Laura Denchfield does a nice job of breaking that one up. Now she takes the pass. Laura Denchfield moving it upfield here for OPC. Had 3 first half goals for the Crocs. Hansen working her way through traffic. Hansen doubled up here.
Like that double. Nice double. Nice double by the Eagles there.
And that pass gets away. And the Eagles do come up with it. Try to go to Olsen, but it bounces free. Scooped ahead, Mullen up with it. Mullen to the front, has a teammate open on the left. Pass was tipped, but Brands comes up with it. And a nice save by Shalene.
Yeah, Shalene got hung out to dry in those first 2 goals. They got in under tight, but boy, anything outside about 10 feet, Jay, they ain't getting through. Which with that nice, .699 save percentage, though, it's showing up. Now we're seeing why.
Brands cut off, giving it back to Mullen. Leaves it for Gallivan, who had the last Grace goal. Gallivan turning away and then had it knocked loose by Denchfield. And this call goes against the Eagles as Brands was trying to get that ball back.
Got that stick down, the illegal stick check down the window. You can't chop down on an opponent's stick. You have to wait till they pick it up. Then you can check with your stick.
Beerbaum lost it. And then we had a halo violation there, looks like against OPC. Yep. And the Eagles looking to quickly counter. Neither team's been able to score or had a whole lot of threat even really so far in the second half.
Okay, physical contact there, a little bit of a push. And you're allowed to touch, but you can't maintain contact in girls lacrosse. So that's why that call was made.
Shot attempt goes wide. It will stay with Grace.
Okay, we'll see. Watch Grace try and get set up here now and see what kind of cutters they got running.
Back to Claudia Olson. Looking to the front. Here's Brands for the goal. Patient possession there for TG, and Brands will get her second of the night.
And I think Claudia Olson did a nice job. I think she looked off. I think she looked off to the left and then came back to Brands coming down the middle here. And nice play. Good shot. Knew exactly where she was going to go with it. And that's how you beat Shalene. And that first goal this half goes to the Eagles. Cut it down to a 3-goal deficit now. Yeah, I'm just thinking, just a little more practice, maybe a couple weeks, could have make a big difference here with this team.
So another key face-off coming up here. That's how OPC really led to their 2 goals late in that first half, was with clean wins, and they get one here as well. Gabby Holton. Now Laura Denchfield. Haug controlling, looking for Manning. Manning will drop it off to Coombs. Coombs wheeling her way to the front, shooting, scoring. Coombs buries it for OPC. The freshman restoring a 4-goal lead for the Crocs.
Well, she came across there really nice. They faked the cut, and she just kind of moved on the D. She came around here and beat them before everybody got to her. She just took a nice sidearm shot and got it in the lower right-hand corner.
22, Sonia Combs.
Well, I think she kind of recognized, too, Dan, that a lot of the defenders were pulling up tight to take away the cutters.
Yep.
And that allowed that little extra space to the front, so she knew if she could beat one defender that she might be able to turn the corner a little bit.
Not bad for a freshman, especially with those jeans.
So an 8-4 score for Osseo-Park Center. They don't waste too much time, only about a half minute after the Eagles' goal by getting one themselves. Claudia Olson coming back now for TG. Knocked away there from Palma, and Gabrielle Holton coming back for Osseo-Park Center.
Well, I've been pretty impressed with the way Holden's been playing defense. You saw it right away in the first half. She just consistently does it, and oh my.
All alone in front was Riley Haug, and Holton found her, and at that point, Fawn had to be thinking, uh-oh, what am I going to do here? As Haug had plenty of green space in front of her once Holton found her.
Get the clothespins out and hang me out. There's just nothing, as a goalie, you just can't do anything about that. Man. Riley out coming through, so a couple answers now from the Crocs. 10th grader.
Getting her 3rd goal this season.
We're starting to see some of these underclassmen make an impression here in this game. Yeah, really, this OPC program for past few years has really been a good program.
Ooh. Oh. Holton.
Ow.
Tripping up Olivia Olson as she went by her there. Looked like they could have been one of those knee-on-knee hits, and it is going to be a yellow card given to Holton. Don't really think she meant to do it, but it certainly was dangerous. Kind of stuck the knee out a little bit.
I think she's kind of caught in between, and should I try to step in front or not, and got caught halfway in between. That's never a fun sight, though. That hurts. That definitely hurts. No, but in this OPC program, we've seen a lot of decent players come through. Some have gone on to play in college, and a couple D1 players, and making an impression.
Anna Lindstrom looking for a cutter here.
Yep, move a little bit, move a little bit.
Flipped out front, but just too much traffic there. Yeah. And well defended, and the Crocs come out of there with it. And now look at Laura Denchfield turn on the speed, running by everyone. Denchfield cutting to the front, and she scores up high. What a goal by Laura Denchfield, starting way back in the defensive zone. And she is able to finish it. And they've kind of taken note that Fawn is, not a particularly tall goalie, but also a little bit slow, with the use of the basket. They've gone up high quite a few times.
Laura Denchfield scoring for the Crocs.
Remember when we talked about at the start of the night too, Dan, about how it was kind of warm and would they get worn down? I'll tell you what, Denchfield looked like she had plenty left in the tank on that one.
I'm sorry, she's got a motor. That's a V8 walking down the field, boy. She's got a nice kick in her run too. She can move.
So a 10-4 lead now for the Crocs after Totino-Grace again had been playing pretty well and got the first goal of the second half and making the score tighter, but then the OPC team coming back with 3 straight of their own and kind of reassuming control of this one here, up by 6.
Well, that's what good teams do, Jay. They always have an answer. They may let up a little bit, but when push comes to shove, they know when to shut the door. And OPC right now has stepped up the pace for themselves.
Look at Nora V, one of the co-head coaches there for the Crocs. And Allie Nelson on the left.
I played at UMD, respected lacrosse club program, both the men's and the women's.
First year together as the co-head coaches. They've been in the program, but so Brands dropping it off to Mullen here. Eagles down by 6. Still a lot of time to go, though. They can't, you know, you just kind of be thinking one at a time here. They've certainly done some good things tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've come back twice. There's no reason they can't come back a third time.
Shalene denying that one. Grace, nice patience. Second cutter was wide open. And they just tried to direct it on net, and Shalene was ready. Claudia Olson looking, and that one up too high, but recovered by the Eagles. Well, briefly anyway. Now battle for it. Gabby Holton is back in there after that yellow card. Haug with it for OPC, and she was chopped at there. Call goes against Totino-Grace. Here's Laura Denchfield.
I was wondering when they were going to see her open there in the wing.
Gabby Holton flipping it over. Here's an opportunity out front now for Boone. Oh, and off the goal post. You know, I was thinking there, and you hit, you know, there's the net itself's a lot bigger than that skinny little post, and somehow you always manage to hit it, it feels like.
When you're a defender, it's exactly 1 inch wide. When you're shooting at it, it's about 6 inches wide.
Yeah, nice opportunity here for Boone. Made a good move and did everything right, except the ball needed to be about a ½ inch over to the right.
Yep.
Brands controlling it here for Totino-Grace.
Yeah, can they set up something now? Yeah, try from a different angle here instead of from the backside. See what you could do from the side, maybe, or.
Brands threw it really to an open area there, but Lindstrom tracks it down, although she is being bothered by pain. Now Olsen coming in to help out. Claudia Olsen looking to the front. Pass got by everyone. Mullen will scoop it up here for Grace. Lewis.
See, we're talking Coach Moyer here at the before the game, and one of the things that he's been working on with the Grace kids too is be able to switch hands, go equally to your right or to your left, and we can see in some instances here in these dodges, if they could just switch hands, they could create an opening for themselves with a little burst, but you know, it keeps coming out of their stick because they're holding it out for the D to give it a good tap. You want to be able to work with both sides of your stick.
Claudia Olsen waiting for help. They quickly move it over now. Mullen. OPC's doing a nice job of not over-committing, though. You see, they'll pass off a player to another, and they're keeping their, you know, their distance proper defensively.
And they are, and Totino-Grace, they've got to put some bursts of speed on coming around the corner. Maybe draw, you know, a slide over to disrupt that defensive flow, and they're making it a little too easy for OPC because there's just a real steady pace. Change the speed.
Gabby Holton controlling here for OPC. Well, not for long as she loses it. Olivia Olsen now with it for Grace, and a quick call going against OPC there. Holton getting a little talking to. I don't think she was too happy that she lost that ball and came back at him a little too hard.
She's got to be careful here now, though. She gets a little over aggressive. That second yellow card, she's not going to like either, because that's the game rejection. All right, let's see if we can shoot. There you go.
Brand's back for Mullen. Gets a little pick there. Mullen turning the corner, goes right to the front. Shalene with a stop. And we get a whistle against OPC.
Get a free position here. But look at the move here. Just a little burst. All of a sudden, bang, she's in front of the net. You know, Shalene, nice play there.
Mullen with a golden opportunity here for the Eagles.
Stick up again. She's going to get an opportunity. Oh, I didn't see that.
Mullen this time elects not to go right to net.
Good decision. I like that decision. Well, Shalene has showed herself to be definitely a quality goalie in the league here. Now it's going to be another stick situation. Okay, Grace has got it. Now we'll see what they can do.
Mullen working her way to the front, but Shalene able to come up with a nice stop.
Yeah, you know, she came all the way over to the left to hopefully get back and come back into a right hand where she gets a good shot at the net. And, of course, another straight shot that Shalene's going to be all over. She's good with that basket. Like I said, you got to bounce shoot it on her.
Yeah, and she plays confident, too. You know, you know that it's a perfect shot. You're not going to have a good chance to stop, but if you can stop some of the others that are, you know, that middle of the pack kind of shots, you're going to have a chance to win a lot of games for your team, and that's what's occurring this year.
I like the fact too that she's stepping out a little bit more. She's cutting down the angle on it.
And another stop there. Schroeder's shot might have been headed wide anyway, but nice job. Eagles possessed for a long time, but nothing to show for it. And now Gutzweiler coming back the other way here for Osseo-Park Center. Emma Hansen, and now they try to go right up the middle. Gabby Holton getting it back as she's in some heavy traffic there. Now gets possession again and finding Laborde. Laborde dropping it down low, tried to go to Boone. Boone able to knock that ball free. Coombs had it, lost it, gets it right back. They want a nice possession here where they get some control, take some time, get set up. Now we get a push call here against Totino-Grace. Coombs will go from the free position here. Coombs missed the net with that one. It'll be OPC possession.
She didn't quite see. She could probably have taken a couple more steps in, Jay, and let it go. Just settle for it right where she was. I think she's thinking about it right now.
Manning on the move now for OPC. Manning dropping it off to the cutter. Boone, and she scores. Nice goal for the Crocs right there. Boone finishing. And another nice assist by Manning.
point, Manning's just dangerous every time she gets the ball. And it isn't necessarily her, although she has shown a potential she could actually put more balls in the net. But her passes, watch this pass. Look at that. On the motion, coming back the other way. So she angled it back to where she was. Right on the money to Boone. And Boone grabs it, pulls it back. Nice shot.
Number 39, Laria Boone scoring for the Crocs.
Boone, her 13th goal of the season.
She's having an outstanding year. Like I said, they're a little bit of a surprise, but not really. They knew she was coming.
Laura Denchfield going back on the attack. She sees the defense get there, so does a nice job pulling it out, settling it out, getting everyone set up. Coombs to Manning. Manning looking back for Boone again. This time the pass doesn't quite click. And then a halo violation against OPC as the Eagles try to get that ball out of danger.
Nice pass, nice clear.
Olivia Olson has shown some good speed tonight here for the Eagles as well. Puts it right out front. Claudia Olson, oh, and Shalene denies it. How about that?
She just stepped out right to the edge of that crease there and played. Instead of backing up into her net, she went right after it, got that basket where the stick was, and really both had nothing to go to.
Well, I think everybody in the stadium except Shalene was mentally figuring that's a goal.
Yep. Because
it was a great setup, point-blank chance, and it was almost like she took it right out of her cross there, right into the basket. Manning looking out front. Gabby Holton scores it for OPC as she'll get her 4th of the night. Manning, yet another assist. This kind of made that one look easy.
How many assists is that for Manning tonight? Just out of curiosity, Jay.
I've got at least 4. There might have been one other that I missed.
I'll bet you 5 out of the 6 times she's touched that ball, she's either scored or got an assist on it. When she gets behind that net with it and can see out front, she's just dynamite. She makes, you know, Gabrielle Holton's got to be happy she's on the team, and so do a few other people.
Holton again wins the face-off here for OPC. Now Laura Denchfield.
Laura Denchfield, instant clear.
Over to Gabby Holton again, and she puts another one away for OPC.
Now, they've just been putting it on in spurts here. They'll lay quiet for a while, give Grace a few opportunities, and then all of a sudden they turn the Jets back on again, and their high scorers and high assist people pick it up and rock and roll. Holton's just great. She picks it up. This is a nice shot.
Scoring again for the Crocs.
Again, high-low, but it had some velocity on it. Goes straight into the left-hand corner.
So 5 goals tonight for Gabby Holton. 13-4 lead. Osseo-Park Center looking like they're going to pick up win number 5 in 6 tries this season. Again, they've got Armstrong coming up Wednesday night, and then a pretty big one at Champlain Park on Friday.
I think the other big one on their schedule is going to be the Blaine game.
And that's at the end of their conference schedule. Here's Denchfield moving it to the middle. Yeah, Maple Grove plays Blaine this Wednesday. That'll be a good one for the teams up at the top of the conference right now.
Yeah, somebody's going to get a loss here. They're both undefeated.
Boone firing and scoring for OPC. So she gets her 2nd goal late in the contest as they really started to pull away late here. This one's going to look like a bigger margin than it felt like for a good share of the game.
Yeah, it was closer now. Totino-Grace battled. I mean, they have not given up. They have not quit. They've made a 3 runs actually, and have worked very hard. It's just that right now, the skill level of the Crocs overall is way better. The goaltending is absolutely amazing, and I mean, Grace could have easily had 3 more goals, Jay.
Manning carrying it up the right side. Boone scooping it here. Out front, oh, and it just bounces away as they try to get an opportunity set up there for Desiree Vasquez. Big battle for it there. And ultimately Manning comes away with it. Manning flicking that pass and going to get a push called against Gabrielle Holton. Defender was in the way and she couldn't really stop and just kind of banged into her.
Well, Holton appears the type of person who's going to assert herself in position here, but you can see Manning throw the ball out there. And just coming across to try and get it, she runs over a Totino player.
Holton is skilled, but also big and strong, and certainly that can be a good benefit in controlling that ball as well. She's had a couple of whistles go against her because she's strong and aggressive too, but now cutting to the front, Lewis shooting, and there's another stop for Shalene.
Well, Lewis got a nice one off there again, just trying to get it down a little bit more, and of course coming cross-handed out, that's a little tough to do, but boy, Shalene's been on everything. It came straight out of basket though. Or in the air, anyway. So you just saw the benefit there, being able to switch hands.
Laborde looking for an open teammate here. So far not finding anything, but now I'll dish it back. We approach a minute to go in the contest here. Gabby Holton controlling it here for the Crocs. Lost it, and she'll give it back out to Manning.
Okay, I'm calling warning, warning, danger, danger here with Manning.
Manning will walk all the way through and then hand it off. Laborde lost it, but illegal maneuver there by the Eagles. So here's Laborde from the free position here for Osseo-Park Center. Gonna move it back out, and they may not try to score again here. We'll see. Just a few seconds to go, and they are going to be able to celebrate win number 5 this year as Osseo-Park Center wins it by a final score of 14-4. And we were, praising Totino-Grace hanging in there for a lot of the time, Dan, but OPC just kind of pulled away down the stretch and looked like they had more left in the tank late in the game and just kind of put this one out of reach.
Yeah, more skilled players, moved the ball around better, and I think the biggest difference was the goaltending. I mean, OPC, Shalene was just absolutely fabulous and did a nice job for them. So congratulations to the Crocs, and for Totino-Grace, you battled well, and just try to get better as the season goes on and go from there.
We'll have more lacrosse coming up for you Tuesday, doubleheader, boys, girls, Wayzata hosting Minnetonka. We'll be back to wrap this one up in just a moment as we'll hear from the Crocs. 14-4, Osseo-Park Center wins it over Totino-Grace.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back here to Totino-Grace. Osseo-Park Center are scoring a win tonight, pulling away to put the Eagles away 14-4. And Joined by three of the players that had great nights tonight for the Crocs, starting with Gabrielle Holton, 5 goals for you. A little bit slow at times, but you guys really seemed to turn it up in the second half. You know, what was the difference to be able to pull away from them?
Well, we finally realized that we really wanted to win this game and win it by a lot. We knew we could beat them, so we decided to just show it.
Looks like you guys are off to a really nice start this year. You know, I know you have some young players that have come into the program and everything. Are you overall pretty happy with what you've seen?
Yeah, some of our young players are doing really great work right now. Like Lariah Boone, she's scored a lot of goals over the last few games, and there's been quite a few other girls doing really well. So overall I'm very happy about what our team's doing.
Getting some pretty good goaltending too, and it has to feel good when you know you have somebody back there that's going to steal a few of them that maybe could have went in.
Yeah, Emily Shalene is doing great right now. Yep, she's blocking all the shots that I think are really hard to block. I'm glad she's back there.
I know you got some good opponents coming up, especially at the end of the week, Champlain Park. You know, how much you look forward to being tested against a team like that? I'm
really excited. We haven't really done well against them in the past, but I'm looking forward to this year and our chances this year. We're doing really well.
All right, thanks for joining us, and good luck the rest of the week. And a good performance assist-wise, Rachel Manning. Looks like you're really thrilled to set some other players up out there. You know, talk about that part of it. How much fun is that to get a great assist?
I love assists. I think they're even more fun than goals. It feels good because you're helping your teammates like up their stats and just have some cool assisted goals.
Do you feel like a game like this is kind of good for you guys? Because obviously they're, you know, a younger team kind of trying to build, but it just shows you that you still have to work hard and to come out and to win these kind of games?
Yeah, these kind of games, they're easy to decide, like, oh, we can go easy, we don't have to work as hard, but it's good to show other teams that even though we're playing a team that could be an easy win, that we still work hard to do it.
What's your grade for this OPC team so far? Do you like the way the season's gone?
I'm going to go with an A+, yeah. I like us.
Yeah, it's been a great run, and good luck the rest of the season here.
Thank you.
And Laura Denchfield coming through with a couple goals, especially your last goal, but you turned on the speed, took it in the defensive end. Talk about that play. How much fun was that one?
That was fun. Early in the season, I struggled with how to get to the net, but now I'm starting to get it, and the coaches have helped me out a lot with getting to the net.
Obviously, you had some key returners on this team, but you also have some new faces. Are you maybe surprised at how quickly things have come together, or did you expect to see that?
Yeah, we've been meshing well together. We didn't know losing our key player, Margot, last year. Definitely the young kids have stepped up a lot. That's helped us tremendously.
You've obviously faced one of the better teams in the conference in Maple Grove, played them very tough. You've got Champlain Park coming up later this week. Is that another real measuring stick for your team, do you feel like?
Yeah, I think Champlain Park will be a lot like Maple Grove. We just got to bring it right away and keep going the entire game.
Laura, thanks for joining us, and good luck the rest of the week here.
Thank you.
All right, Laura Denchfield with a strong performance here for OPC as they pull away to beat Totino-Grace tonight. Once again, your final score in this one is the Crocs 14 and the Eagles 4. For Dan Ficken and all of our crew, good night from Jim Totino Field at Totino-Grace High School.